Welcome back to New Day Cleveland. We are in Amherst and we're visiting a bar or a pub or a restaurant. I'm not sure which it is. It's Cole's Public House, and this is Robbie. He's the owner and the chef. And what are we doing in the garden?
Well, we have a small garden. Well, to answer your first question, it's all three. We have two restaurants, we have a wine shop, a wine cellar, and a banquet hall. So a little bit of everything.
We're cooking, we're jamming.
But we're actually in our what we call the Tavern Garden right now. We try to grow a lot of our own produce, a lot of our own herbs. It's really important to us to know where things are coming from and be able to pick them fresh.
I hear people talk about local. You can't get much more local than this.
I mean, it's literally a stone's throw from the kitchen.
Yeah, right around the corner. So what are we harvesting today?
Today we have some zucchinis coming in that we're going to pick. Over in the corner here, we have all of our lettuces that we're using for the restaurant right now. We also have some beautiful Swiss chard that's coming up. We have about, I think, 60 tomato plants all said and done, and about 50 eggplants and a bunch of herbs.
Here's a zucchini. Looks like it's ready to go.
You want to pop it off?
Yeah, I can do that.
Just reach down in there and just snap it right off.
Here we go.
There you go.
And I dropped the blossom.
You need the blossom. Those are the best
because we can use the blossoms.
Absolutely.
Hey, speaking of growing things and doing things homemade, I understand even in the bar things are like homemade.
Oh, everything's homemade, yeah. Everything down to, even our mayonnaise. We make everything. It's a true scratch kitchen.
How's that Moscow Mule go together? What makes that so homemade?
Well, we actually make our own ginger beer. We're not bringing in a pre-made ginger beer. We start with real raw ginger. We break it down, steep it, cook it, and then we actually put it in a seltzer bottle. So when it comes out, it's carbonated. It's really spicy. Fresh ginger's kind of got that nice, bright, spicy flavor to it. So it's really unique.
I like that idea too. It's called a public house, but it's really a pubby feel at the bar.
Well, that's where pub comes from.
Right.
Pub is short for public house.
See, so I learned something in Amherst, Ohio
today.
Yeah,
absolutely. So
that is great, Robbie.
That's where we started there.
Well, let's pick some more stuff and go in the kitchen and start throwing some of this stuff together.
Alrighty. This Swiss chard just kind of took off the last couple days.
What will we use this for?
We use this over on the Tavern side, our Italian side. We'll do this as kind of a fresh green, just sauteed with some, I think tonight we're gonna do it with cipollini onions, and we're gonna honey glaze everything. So it turns out beautiful, but this stuff's taken off, so we gotta trim it back.
Out of the garden and into the kitchen, and we still got the garden in the kitchen here.
Always, yeah.
So what do you do with the flowers?
So we use them as garnishments. Not only does it make the plate look pretty, but it actually does add an element of flavor to the dishes. So we're gonna use this with our gnocchi dish because it actually adds a little bit of sweetness and bitterness. So the lettuce that we actually just picked in the garden, now we did mix in a little bit of radicchio and a little bit of endive in this, but the rest of this is all lettuce from the garden. Same thing with the tomatoes. So what we're gonna do is make our summer cob, which is kind of a simple cob. So we have buttermilk dressing. Don't be confused with ranch. It's not ranch, it's buttermilk. So it's one that we make here in-house. We're just gonna mix that together. And that way we get the appropriate amount of dressing to lettuce.
And for me, that's a hard thing to do. I always overdress stuff.
Less is more. You know, you can always put more on. You don't need to always, put it on in the first place. So what we're gonna do is just kind of bang out our ingredients on this. This is a smoked blue cheese, commonly called kind of the Moody Blue. So we'll put this on, and what we're gonna do is just kind of showcase all the different ingredients. These are our garden tomatoes that we've confit, so it just means cooked with fat. So we've cooked these really slowly in olive oil for a couple hours.
Makes them sweet.
Makes them sweeter, kind of adds a little bit of a roast flavor to it. It's really nice than just a fresh tomato. There's nothing wrong with a fresh tomato, but this is just an extra little bit. Some onions, I actually just picked these up from Shupala Farms right over in Elyria, kind of Sheffield area. A little Kalamata olive. Now, I'd love to be able to tell you that the avocados came from Ohio, but they obviously did not. But avocado's great, and they're great in salad. So we're just gonna take some of this. Another thing is just always make sure that you're using a ripe avocado. We're gonna throw that on there. And then these are farm eggs that we just hooked up with a farmer outside of Wakeman. So he's actually dropping off the farm fresh eggs to us. And then lastly, what we would do is saute a little bit of bacon lardons, and we'll add it on right there, and that's kind of our...
What do you call this salad?
This is our summer cob. So we're always going to rotate different ingredients. So they're not always going to be the same ingredients. It's whatever's kind of coming out of the garden at the time.
Okay, lobster and gnocchi together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that the special or on the menu?
For extra credit points, do you know what gnocchi means in Italian?
What does it mean?
Little pillows.
Little pillows. So you want these to be light, not like lead.
Absolutely. The proper gnocchi should be nice and light.
So your butter browns a little bit too, huh?
Yeah, we brown our butter just a little bit to add a little extra flavor. When you cook butter and let it darken, it kind of gets almost like a hazelnut flavor.
It's my favorite.
So just adding a little salt, pepper, sugar. We're gonna do some of this wonderful garlic that I did just get from Shupala Farms and shallots. And then the secret ingredient, tarragon. Not very secret. We're gonna do a splash of char grilled red peppers that's then been pureed. We're gonna add a little bit of white wine.
Hey, so how long has Cole's Public House been here?
We opened October 17th of 2016.
Man, I've wasted some time getting here because this is a good spot, man.
Absolutely. The Cork Tree Tavern side we just officially opened last week. So now we have our gnocchis, and these again are the ones that we make here in the house. We're gonna add right to the pan. So they're nice and light. And then we're gonna let this kind of saute together. And then last but not least, right at the end,
Saffron.
little pinch of saffron, just a tiny bit.
It's like liquid, or like gold, right?
They're not cheap, that's for sure. That's why we said a little
They're not
bit.
giving it away.
And what that does is just kind of add a little bit of a kind of an earthy flavor. It kind of riches the color. It makes the sauce a little thicker, or deeper in color rather.
Okay.
So now we're ready to plate.
Okay, so there you go. It's Cole Public House, right?
Yes, sir.
Cole Public House. It's Robbie. It's a great spot, and guess what? We're going to have more great spots right after the break.